KSAT 12. The Nightbeat starts right now.
They are teenagers accused of breaking into cars who are also making a disturbing claim that two off-duty Bexar County deputies punched and hit them, even while one of them was handcuffed.
And investigative reporter Tim Gerber has discovered there is video that appears to back up their story. It's tonight's Defenders investigation.
You are watching home surveillance video of the early morning arrest of 17-year-old David Rodriguez outside his home on January 1st, on his knees and handcuffed, while an on-duty Bexar County deputy called to the scene goes about his duties, while two people hover nearby. One of them, a woman, appears agitated and then seems to yell at Rodriguez and then strikes him in the face. Seconds later, the man appears to grab Rodriguez's hair and slam his head against the patrol vehicle. So who is this couple? According to a Bexar County Sheriff's incident report, the woman is Abigail Rios and the man Raul Maldonado, both off-duty BCSO deputies. It started when they spotted Rodriguez and his 16-year-old friend allegedly breaking into vehicles in their far west side neighborhood.
She grabbed me by my bag and then put her leg behind my legs and threw me down onto my back. Then she got on top of me and held my hands against the ground like this. And then she would put her knee against my chest.
The teen, who we're not identifying because he's a minor, says Rios had just come out of a nearby home and that others followed her and attacked him as he was pinned to the ground.
They came in and then they started stomping my face, like on this side right here. And then they started punching me. And then after they beat me up, she told them, okay, well, y'all have to leave because the cops are on their way.
In the meantime, the report states the second off-duty deputy, Raul Maldonado, ran after the other teen, Rodriguez, who ended up back at his home. Home surveillance video shows a man believed to be Maldonado walking past several times as a white SUV follows, and as Rodriguez hides first on the side of the house and then in the driveway between two vehicles. Then a BCSO patrol vehicle arrives, driven by on-duty deputy A.R. Adondo, who appears to go around to the other side to let someone out. The 16-year-old claims it was Deputy Rios. And how does he know? He claims she had been interrogating him in the back seat.
And she was saying, who's the other kid? Like, tell me where the he lives, do it or I'm gonna punch you.
So he says he confessed, which brings us back to where we started. As the cameras captured Deputy Arredondo arresting Rodriguez and leading him back to the patrol vehicle, the teen says what the camera didn't capture was Rios hitting Rodriguez in the face.
Then they brought him around by like where my side was, and I could see like I could see her punching like with her fist while he was handcuffed.
That's when the first assault happens.
Sarah Medina is Rodriguez's mother. She said she was shocked when she saw the video of her son's arrest.
I was outraged. I was pacing back and forth. I was angry. I was hurt. And for three officers who are supposed to protect and serve to violate my son's rights that way and treat him as if he wasn't human was very, very hard to deal with.
Medina said she had no idea her son and his friend had snuck out of the house and didn't even find out he was in jail until several hours later. She said David's friend told her he witnessed the off-duty deputies punching David. After reviewing the video, she contacted Bexar County Internal Affairs investigators.
So within an hour, they were at my home. Internal Affairs was at my home. Also, criminal investigators were at my home. They were shocked, and I will say, by what they saw.
Medina says while her son is accused of breaking the law that morning, he didn't deserve to be mistreated by the deputies.
No one deserves anything like that, no matter what you do. If you're in handcuffs and you're not doing anything, you're not fighting, you're not trying to run to where they have to try to grab you, no one deserves that. They deserve to lose their jobs and never, ever work in law enforcement.
According to BCSO, the incident is under investigation by Internal Affairs and the Public Integrity Unit. In a statement today, they said, although we cannot discuss specifics about the case, Deputy Rios has been placed on administrative duty pending further review of this incident. Deputy Maldonado and Deputy Arredondo are currently assigned to East Patrol pending the outcome of the review of this incident. For the Defenders, Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
And Deputy Rios is also under review for a separate incident. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says they want to review her actions in a chase that led to a suspect's arrest and involved a crash and minor injuries to others on the road. We told you about this one yesterday. We have that article online right now on KSAT.com.
He was found guilty of being the medical center rapist. It took about 5 hours, but a jury returned guilty verdicts that mean Anton Harris is now facing up to life behind bars as the punishment phase of his trial begins tomorrow. Last year, his 40-year plea deal was denied, leading to this trial. Harris, indicted in 5 cases of rape in the medical center, was on trial for the latest case, a May 2017 rape of a nurse in her medical center area apartment. Evidence in this case included a gold watch, weapons, and DNA. Harris guilty on both counts of aggravated sexual assault and aggravated robbery. Tomorrow, Harris is expected to learn how long he will spend behind bars.
Neighbors left in shock after learning their neighbor was beaten to death. Balcones Heights police believe the woman was killed by her son, 55-year-old Michael Curbo, who is still on the run. Neighbors told the night team Stephen Cavazos the victim had just moved into the Spanish Keys apartments last month.
Neighbors still processing the news after a 76-year-old woman was found beaten to death in her Spanish Keys apartment off Babcock Road last night.
It's just kind of like, wow, man, she's a sweet lady. Like, I just couldn't believe it.
Balcones Heights police say they received a call from the victim asking to help kick out her son from the apartment after an argument began between the two. The son identified as 55-year-old Michael Wayne Curbo. Police say they're still looking for him after finding his mother dead at the scene, describing it as gruesome. Mike Hernandez lives just doors away and remembers seeing the mother and son argue often.
When he was here, you knew you heard him. He was real loud. He made his presence known.
Ashley Rodriguez says she didn't know her neighbor. She didn't even know what had happened until a relative shared the story after watching the news. She's left wondering how a son could harm his own mother.
I have 2 sons. So I can't even imagine being a mom and your son does that.
And now she's in fear.
They never caught him, so it is scary that he could come back.
Court records show that Curbo has had several arrests dating back to 1988. His most recent arrest was back in 2017. That charge, assault for a bodily injury, but it was later dismissed. And tonight, the police are still searching for Curbo. And if you have any information that could lead to his arrest, you are urged to contact the Balcones Heights Police Department. Their number, 210-735-9212. Reporting live outside the Balcones Heights Police Department, Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News. Steve?
Thank you, Stephen. New on the Nightbeat, one man involved in 2 crashes on the north side. Police confirming he was taken to University Hospital in critical condition. It happened just after 6 tonight near the corner of Blanco and Jackson Keller. Police said the man was heading south on Blanco when he hit someone else from behind. That crash caused him to crash head-on into another vehicle. Officers had to close the roadway for quite some time while the investigation got underway. Tonight, though, a live look at that area, and crews have since left the scene. Much different sight out here. A cause for this crash remains unknown at this hour.
A belt is what is alleged to have been used on a 3-year-old boy before his death. Logan Wayne Harville was arrested in the case. Tonight, he faces a first-degree felony charge of injury to a child. The district attorney's office says Harville's charge will likely not be upgraded to murder because the charge he already faces carries the same punishment. Harville was arrested Monday at a Northwest Side apartment. The victim, identified as Christian Paz, also lived at that same apartment.
It's been burning for more than a day. The flames are not expected to stop anytime soon. An update to that fire at a cotton gin in Zavala County we told you about. The fire broke out yesterday afternoon in Batesville. Since then, the smoke has begun to clear. One large pile, though, is still on fire. It's expected to burn for 4 to 5 days at least. The sheriff there estimates a $6 million loss from the fire. No injuries were reported, but 2 families did have to be relocated. A recall alert tonight. 4 companies pulling their sleepers, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. The commission says the recall is to prevent risk of suffocation after other manufacturers' products had infant deaths reported for inclined sleep products. The newest recalls include Swaddle Me by Your Bed sleeper, inclined sleeper, the Graco Little Lounger rocking seat, the Pillow portable napper, and the Delta Enterprise Corporation recalls incline sleeper.
Well, UTSA is now the first university in the nation to implement the Tracy rule. The rule bans students with histories of serious misconduct from participating in its athletic programs. It's named after Brenda Tracy, a sexual assault survivor who shares her story across the nation. When asked how this would be enforced, UTSA said a survey would be used to learn more about prospective and current student athletes. There will also be a committee who will review student cases, but the new rule does not require universities to conduct background checks. UTSA says while it has always expected coaches to recruit high-character student athletes, the Tracy rule formalized the process and extended responsibility on the students.
Still ahead on the Nightbeat, the plan is to boost San Antonio's transportation plan without adding any new taxes. How is that possible? The idea that's coming from a former mayor, coming up.
And parts of a border wall blown over. The reason a Border Patrol agent on scene says the panels were brought down. It's coming up next on the Nightbeat.
This is new video tonight. Part of the U.S.-Mexico border wall fell over today. This is video out of Mexicali, Mexico, which sits near the border of California. Strong winds blew down panels, causing them to land on trees on the Mexican side of the border. No one was hurt. A Customs and Border Patrol agent says the sections had recently been set in concrete that hadn't yet cured. The area part of an ongoing construction project to improve existing sections of the border wall.
Well, sweeping transportation plan with no new taxes. Is it too good to be true? Former Mayor Henry Cisneros laid out Connect SA's plans for the next 5 years to the city council. He says there's a way to accomplish them without raising taxes. The Night Team's Garrett Berger explains.
Former Mayor Henry Cisneros isn't pitching a miracle cure for transportation.
This is a plan for sort of holding on to sanity and reasonableness.
Though Connect SA is looking out to 2040, the issues Cisneros presented, like sidewalks, roads, better bus frequency, and a new form of mass transit, focus on the next 5 years and on the additional $1.36 billion those plans need in order to happen. But Cisneros says the money wouldn't come from a new tax. Some existing revenue would have to be switched around, and voters would need to go for a bond package that would be about 70% transportation-related projects next time around.
The experts who've analyzed it and grouped them tell me about 55% or so of previous bond issues. So this asks for a little more in order to prioritize transportation. So this is one of those big boy moments where you just say, look, we have a problem, we need to deal with it.
Another high-profile part of the funding is diverting the 1/8 cent sales tax from aquifer protection and Linear Creek parkways over to VIA when the tax expires next year. Mayor Nurnberg has been leading that effort.
The one variable we know is unacceptable if we are going to move forward with transportation is that the 1/8 cent does not get shifted to transportation. That means that we do not begin.
So there might not be a need for new taxes for this 5-year stretch, but the 15 years of Connect SA's plan after that, we'll see.
You know, we'll have to continue to define what the projects are and then define how to pay for them for the long haul.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
All right, don't forget the Western Heritage Parade and Cattle Drive happening this Saturday. Not too late to get your tickets to our KSAT Corral Hoedown. Each ticket comes with breakfast, seats for the parade, and other activities for the entire family. The Cattle Drive is Saturday, February 1st from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's this Saturday. To buy tickets, head to ksat.com. We have an article with everything you need to know, along with a link for those tickets.
I know, I'm already looking forward to the weekend.
You and I will be out there.
Yes,
right?
What kind of weather we're going to have, though?
You know what? It'll be nice.
Yeah?
It'll be nice.
I heard a rumor that Isis is going to wear a cowboy hat.
Isis!
I heard a rumor.
Thank you, Ursula Perry, for lending me one.
I heard that rumor somewhere.
You don't have to fix my hair.
You're going to rock the cowboy hat?
Yeah. We found one that was big enough for my head. I have a big head, apparently. Couldn't find one to fit, but yeah, she hooked me up, Ursula.
That's really great. I know it's going to be a fun event, but the weather will cooperate for us on Saturday. It's just the next couple of days that if you have any outdoor plans, it's going to be chilly, cloudy, and there are going to be areas of light drizzle and light rain as well. So we've got a lot to talk about, but first let's wrap up today. The high temperature was 64 degrees, which is right on the money. That's right average for San Antonio, and it felt a lot cooler today than it did the last couple of days. In fact, this is a look at high temperatures just this past Sunday. 80 degrees in San Antonio. It was 83 down in Cotulla. Again, so a cool front moved through, helped make it feel a lot cooler outside today, and there was tons of sunshine, so it was a beautiful day in my book. We are cooling down very quickly. It's already 50 degrees. Now you'll notice too that the winds not as breezy. We did have some gusts up to 25 miles per hour today, but the winds have calmed down somewhat. We've got an east northeast breeze at about 10 miles per hour. And we're already starting to get up into the upper 30s in the hill country. So it's going to be a cold evening across the hill country. Take a look at our weather setup right now outside. You can see those clouds starting to creep in from the east, even creep in a little bit from the south as well. Wider view here. And you can see right in West Texas that counterclockwise swirl. That's an area of low pressure. And that's going to move on off to the east, closer to San Antonio over the next 24 hours or so. You can notice not much rain over El Paso right now, and that's going to be the case for us too. Take a look at the futurecast. Overcast skies by the start of your Thursday. That's the day tomorrow. Thursday tomorrow. It'll be cloudy. It'll be cool. Temperatures will only be in the low 40s tomorrow morning, and there will be a couple of areas of spotty light rain and drizzle. Better chances for that light rain later on in the day, right around dinner time and afterward. But again, we're not talking about downpours here. We're just talking about light rain. Maybe if you get some decent rain, you'll get up to about 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. But a couple nights ago, we saw more than 1/4 of an inch of rain. So not going to be as intense of an event as a couple of nights ago. And then although we will have some clouds on Friday, we'll start to clear out during the afternoon on Friday, and it should be pretty nice by the weekend. So here's a look at your Thursday tomorrow. Cloudy and cool, 42 as we have the morning commute in the morning hours. Patchy drizzle. We may get to 50 degrees, but generally it's going to stay in the 40s all day tomorrow. So that is sweater weather. North winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Definitely cooler than the last couple, calmer rather than the last couple of days. And we'll have a 30% chance for light rain around dinner time and afterward. Then after tomorrow, we're going to warm up really quickly. The weekend will be pretty nice, upper 60s for the highs. And then on Monday and Tuesday, we'll be pushing the mid 70s and even close to 80 degrees on Tuesday itself. Taking a look at the planning forecast just to kind of wrap up everything. Again, cloudy and cool tomorrow with areas of patchy drizzle and light rain. Clearing skies on Friday, getting up to 61 degrees. Here's that nice weather for the weekend. A little bit more cloud cover on Sunday. A small chance for isolated rain in the morning, but you'll notice we don't have any big rainmakers in the next 7 days. And then although it'll be warm on Tuesday, looks like we're going to get a decent front some point Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. And although we haven't had a freeze all January, we may have a freeze in the morning hours early in February in the middle of next week.
All right. Praying for some cold weather. We were talking about this earlier. I like the cold weather. We haven't seen a lot of it.
Chilly,
yeah.
So it'll
Tomorrow's
be a
nice,
my day. Nice change of pace.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
There you go. All right. The Spurs continue this very confusing season.
This game went almost 3 hours, a total of 76 free throw attempts between the two teams. And guess what? The Spurs beat the Jazz. Yeah, the same Jazz are number 3 team in the Western Conference. How does this keep happening? And they lose to guys like Atlanta. And Dak's very happy. Kellen's back coming up. The Spurs looking to put an end to their 3-game losing streak without LaMarcus Aldridge for the second straight game with a sprained thumb, but they would have to face the third best team in the Western Conference, the Utah Jazz, in order to do it. Spurs got off to a great start. Patty Mills with a rainbow 3 from the corner. Then DeMar DeRozan picking up where he left off with 36 points in Chicago. Derek White then adds a catch-and-shoot 3. The Spurs on a 17-8 run to take a 37-29 lead after one, shooting 68%. Second quarter, Spurs do it with defense. DeJounte Murray with a block on Rudy Gobert. Then DeJounte gets a chance on offense with a crossover pull-up jumper. Spurs lead by 10. DeRozan with 17 points in the first half, and the Spurs lead by 8 at the break, 70-62. Third quarter now. DeMar is able to find Trey Lyles, who delivers the big-time dunk, and the Spurs have their largest lead of the game with 15. But that wouldn't last long. Final seconds of the third, Donovan Mitchell drives to the rim. He had 23 at this point in the game, and the Spurs lead is down to 4, 98-94. But DeMar to the rescue again. With 3.5 left in the game, he makes 2 key baseline baskets to finish with a season-high 38 points in the Spurs' 127-120 victory against one of the best in the West.
It's been a tough few games. Coming back home is always like a restart where you could get that energy back. Got another one here Saturday. Try to get that rolling, and, the fun starts after that.
All right, he's talking about the rodeo road trip. By the way, the death of NBA superstar Kobe Bryant has many players reflecting on his life. For some, it's a professional, and for others, it's personal. It's personal for Spurs star Rudy Gay because he shared a special bond with Kobe after what the two players had to go through in their professional lives. You see both players suffer career-threatening injuries, both tearing their Achilles tendon during the game. For Kobe, it was back in April of 2013 against the Golden State Warriors, and what made it so remarkable is that Kobe got off the floor, shot his free throws, knowing his season was over before walking to the locker room. For Rudy Gay, it was in January 2017 when he was playing for the Kings before becoming a Spur.
When I went through my Achilles injury, and I reached out to him. We talked for about an hour, just based on, our experiences and how he made such a good comeback. He motivated me to get up and do different things and try different things with my recovery. And and ever since then, having a different kind of relationship with him. Obviously we competed against each other for years, but for him to reach out, for me to reach out and him to take the time to sit down and talk to me. And we've had conversations and talked before then, but it was more of an intimate kind of conversation at that point. He knew what I was going through, and in true Kobe fashion, he motivated me. So, that's one of the things, and I owe a lot to him. I owe myself being here to this day. I'm still playing because of that. So, I'm always going to remember him for that.
So many lives Kobe touched. All right, the final home game before they start the rodeo road trip Saturday night, the late tip time, 8 p.m.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dak Prescott is at the Super Bowl in Miami making the rounds with the media. Today he was on the NFL Network with Kurt Warner and James Jones to talk about the changes this offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. Even though they finished 8-8, Prescott is excited to have his offensive coordinator Kellen Moore back for a second go-around.
The success that we had this year, it didn't turn out to wins necessarily and correlate the way we wanted to, but there's a lot of great positive things to look forward to as we get going, as we keep moving forward, and the fact that they're able to keep him and we can grow off of that, off of what we did last year, run and get, pass and get, complimenting off each other. It's going to be exciting.
Jerry Jones is in Miami ready for a party. The Dallas Cowboys owner, $250 million mega yacht, the Bravo Eugenia, was arriving in Miami area last week and is now docked at the Port Miami. It dwarfs all of the boats docked nearby. It will reportedly be hosting one of the biggest Super Bowl parties this week. He's got plenty of room to do it with. The Astros have a new manager next. The UTSA Roadrunners are trying to keep their home win streak intact with the men's basketball team hosting University of Alabama Birmingham tomorrow, going into their Conference USA showdown against UAB. The Roadrunners have won 7 straight home games and currently 4-4 in conference play behind the nation's highest scoring duo in Javon Jackson and Keaton Wallace, who average just over 44 points a game.
If you can get to this point in the season and be healthy, which relatively speaking we are, if you're playing with confidence, if your guys are still locked in, if they're still enjoying practice, it gives you a chance to do something down the stretch. Guys are pulling for each other. We got different guys starting to step up, so still think we can do something really special.
Houston Astros and Dusty Baker have reached a 2-year agreement to become their new manager at 70 years old. Baker will be the oldest manager in the majors this coming season, but he comes in with 22 seasons of experience and includes 3 times National League Manager of the Year. He will replace A.J. Hinch, who was fired in the wake of the Astros' 2017 sign-stealing scandal. Press conference is tomorrow.
Are you surprised Dusty Baker?
I was very surprised, yes, but that's what they wanted.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Greg. We'll be right back. Well, it's a mayoral race that has gone to the dogs, or at least one dog in Vermont. Sammy served as the Fairhaven Police Department's canine and is now running for mayor. There's a town manager, and the mayoral position is part of a fundraiser to build a new playground.
All right.
Yeah, this gets the kids involved as they vote for who they want to represent them. Last year, Lincoln the goat won the mayor's seat by 3 votes.
I think a step up from a goat to a dog.
Yeah, there's a rumor, though, they're going to keep the new mayor on a short leash.
Hey, boom. Awesome. Let's take a look at the weather tomorrow. It's going to be cloudy and chilly all day, just about in the 40s. There will be areas of patchy drizzle and light rain, not amounting to much, and then we'll quickly warm up. The weekend will be nice, and we'll be in the upper 70s by early next week.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
GMSA at 4:30.
Good night.